Hey guys, so people are always asking me, hey Ethan, how is it that you're able to travel all over to these exotic places like Thailand and Bali? How is it that you're able to basically not live in America or be able to basically live this really cool life that you're able to see on Instagram? And yeah, I just want to explain what it is that I do and hopefully give you some advice so you can do it as well if that's something that you're interested in it. Just I get the question over and over, so I'd like to explain it. So I'm something called a digital nomad, which means that I am able to work online. I'm not tied down to a specific location. So if I want to go to Thailand, for example, I can just continue working, continue making money, move to Thailand, be able to actually stay there long term, which gives me a bunch of benefits. So first off, it's just fun to stay there long term. Second off, I get the benefit of actually using the cheaper currency and being able to save money or make my money go farther. And then lastly, there are certain tax advantages. Like if you are an American, there's something called a 25-55, where if you don't make money in America, or you stay out of America for a certain amount of time of the year, then you actually don't have to pay taxes. So it's a pretty sweet system. So how did I do that? Well, I've got kind of like a roadmap of what I would recommend to my best friend or to my sister or anything like that. And I want to share that with you. So the first step is that you want to know what your options are as far as online jobs. There's tons of different options. Some that come to mind are like a computer programmer, a designer, website, designer, writer, accountant, transcriber. Yeah, just anything that can be done online and doesn't require you to physically be in a location. Teaching is a really good one. So selling things online is another example. So yeah, you kind of get the idea. Anything that doesn't require you to be physically there. There's lots of options, and what I recommend is just doing a quick search. There's somebody by the name of Nomad Girl. She's got a really good list of jobs that you can do. There's other websites, I'm sure, as well. But yeah, just look at all the jobs and see which one calls for you. The second step is to actually get the skills to be able to do that job. It's going to make you more valuable in the marketplace, and it's also going to confirm that you do actually want to do this thing. What I recommend is going to websites like Udemy and Skillshare. They're low-cost websites, and you can learn a ton of information. They're really up-to-date courses and videos, so you know you're getting the latest information. And you really don't need to go to university or anything like that for most of these skills. You can learn pretty much everything online and get a better education than you could actually at the university. The only downside is you do have to motivate yourself to actually learn these skills, so you do have to set aside some time and make sure that you do it. Also, when you're new at this, there's a lot of scammy courses out there that are, charging $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and they'll promise you the whole world. I would encourage you to be very skeptical of those courses. I'm not saying there's no good courses out there, but I would just kind of be careful as a beginner, because a lot of times people will sell you these courses and it sounds really good, but it's really just like an entry-level job kind of situation. So that's something to look out for. Then once you've developed some skills, you've taken some courses and you learned some information, now it's time to basically display that information. So if you're a designer, for example, maybe you can design some blog posts or some images and put them on an Instagram feed or something like that. If you're a writer, maybe you can start writing some blog articles. Even if you're not a writer, I do really like blog article writing about the things that you're learning, because that just gives employers some expertise, or shows expertise, and it shows them that you are credible and that you're learning and that this is something that you're interested in. This is a passion of yours. After you've displayed your expertise, usually on a website, but there's lots of different other ways. You can use like WordPress is what I use, but you can use websites like Square or Wix as well. Once you've done that, the next step I really, really highly recommend is you get a job. The reason is because you are going to learn a lot more on this job than you would starting off the business on your own. It's going to be a little bit difficult. There's like lots of small little things like, how do I do billing? How do I set up contracts? How do I talk to people? What if I run into problems? What if I can't get results for the client? Things like that just come up and can be a little bit difficult to handle on your own. So I'd really recommend, you just kind of apply for your first job. You probably want to stay there for around 9 months, a year. You could do less. You could do 6 months or even 3 months if you're really aggressive and you really wanted to learn. are. One thing I recommend is that I would stay at a smaller agency if I had a choice. The reason is because you're going to be able to see all aspects of the business. So you're going to work with a smaller team. You're going to actually handle or at least going to see some of the finance tasks. You're going to see maybe even do some of the customer support. You're going to just work on lots of little small projects. If you're at a bigger company, you're probably going to do one very specialized role, and that's good. That's cool. But it's going to be harder to be kind of more of a entrepreneur after the fact, which I think is going to be your long-term goal. So it also exposes you to different roles, and you can see kind of what you like. After that, I would recommend either getting another job or starting your own business and doing your own kind of agency. The reason for that is your first job is probably going to be a little bit difficult to get a remote position, meaning you can work anywhere. It's especially going to be hard if you want to jump time zones. So if you want to work in America, but you want to live in Thailand, for example, like me, it's going to be hard to do with an employer because they're going to want kind of more regular contact with you. But if you have your first time job and then you get a second job, you can make sure that you're looking for remote friendly positions or positions that are going to be in your time zone. So some good websites are like We Work Remotely. There's also freelancing sites like Upwork and Freelancer. The cool thing about those freelancing websites is that you can get like part-time gigs. So you can, maybe it's like people who are just having projects and they just need you one time for a little project. That's fine. And then there's some people who need just like ongoing work, but it's not a full-time role and they don't want to take on the responsibility of a full-time employee. So they'll just hire you on kind of a repeat basis. So those are some really good options. You can also get your own clients. Typically, people reach out to their network, right? So now you've worked at maybe one or two jobs. You've started to build up some professional networks a little bit. You can even ask your boss. Sometimes they have work that they don't take on, but know that you would be interested in. So they might be able to pass it down to you. Another strategy people do is they reach out to businesses. So they'll make like a list of businesses they think they can help and they want to help as well. They want to work in a certain industry. And they'll either cold email or cold message that business through like Instagram or LinkedIn and see if that's something that they would be interested in. Maybe show their portfolio. There's a whole art and science to cold outreach. So I'd really recommend you get a course on how to do it because you can definitely mess it up and do a bad job. One more strategy that I like for getting your own clients is writing down your expertise. So very similar to displaying your skills before that I talked about to get the job. Try to put together your skills in a way that would help a business. So an example would be how to get more, customers, how to get more students in your class if they sell a class, for example. If you can put together like a guide, an ebook to show them how to get from step A to step Z, and then you put it out on an ad, so like a Facebook ad or a LinkedIn ad or a Google ad, and you can get it in front of your ideal audience, that might be enough to actually generate a lead, which is going to be their name, email, and phone number. And then they put that information in there in exchange for your ebook, your expertise book, and then you reach out to them. That's going to be a lot warmer, so those people are going to be a lot more receptive compared to the cold email. It's my favorite method. All right, and then that's really it. Once you are able to either get a remote job, do freelancing, or to get your own clients, then you can work online and be able to travel wherever. Honestly, I think for me, it took about 1.5 years to do. Some people definitely did it a lot faster than me. Some people take a really long time to do it. So, there's lots of different ranges and it kind of depends on what it is that you want to do. I hope that was helpful. I have a lot of information in my head on this subject, so if you do want more specific help, I'm absolutely happy to help you out. Just DM me. If you're like hesitant or you think, should I reach out? Just reach out. Yeah, I'd love to help. Maybe I can even connect you with some people or some friends. I can show you some other digital nomads, like show you the culture, really anything, advice on business, anything that I think I could help, I'd love to do it. So wanted to make this video to answer questions. And yeah, let's hang out if we're ever in the same part of the world. All right, thanks so much, guys, and have a good one. Bye.